The trading week is come and gone. We have the weekend to cool off before we enter another week. Very quickly, I'm going to share three stocks that have upside potential in the next half of the year. I'm going to start with AMD. So, so all this information are online. So there's no rocket science around this. So you can always check them over the internet. So I'm on Yahoo Finance, for example. So you can also look up all this information on Yahoo Finance. And the cool thing is with Yahoo Finance, there's this AI summarization that you can now leverage. Yeah. So here, AMD continues to be a key player in the AI chip market, driving 150% surge. Yeah. So I mean, we thought we were going to have a shrink today, but the market bounced back and we ended up as green. The S&P 500 went way up with Nasdaq alongside. So sometimes that's what happens during the trading days. Some news can trigger market reaction, but things looked pretty much better by the end of the day. So if you want to learn more about, for instance, AMD, so this is what you do, right? So let's look at what AMD is. What do they do per se? What do they do? So I'm going to come right here. So what AMD does is part of the semiconductors chip manufacturers and is very pivotal to the AI stack. So AMD, for anyone that's been following, like 2 years ago, AMD was not where it used to be. So if we go to the 5-year chart in 2024, AMD was trading at 207, 125 in 2023, and 2025 was at 161. And then bring it back 6 months ago, it went up exponentially. So let's look at the price targets. So price target is projected to hit at least $635 by the end of the year 2026. So for some analysts, Wells Fargo, Bank of America, and the rest, they're projecting over 600, close to $700 by the end of the year. Now, this is not a hype stock. This is not a hype stock. This is a fundamental play in the AI stack. So look out for AMD. Now you might be saying, oh, it's $500. It's too expensive. You can buy one share today, buy another share in another week, in another month. You can dollar cost average. So instead of buying, you can buy fractions of this. Maybe you can afford $100. Just put it there because this has a high growth potential. And I don't want you to miss out on this growth potential for AMD. So if you look at more information around AMD, operates as a semiconductor company, operates three segments: data center, client, and gaming. As a matter of fact, they are going to be helping the PlayStation to they are building out the chip for PlayStation. So it is pivotal. So very soon your games is gonna be carrying an AMD chip. Your laptops, some of them are running AMD chips. There's Intel chips, there's AMD chips. In those days, you use Pentium, but now you have Intel, you have AMD. There's Apple as well. So they manufacture in intelligence accelerators, microprocessors, graphics processing units, GPUs, what we know as GPUs. So it is pivotal to the AI journey. Now, the next stock I'm going to bring to your attention is Intel. So let's look at Intel. Go to Intel here. So what makes Intel special? Has a trailing forward PE 128, no peg ratio on this record. Uh, so Intel provides foundry solutions. So you might be wondering why everyone is talking about Intel in recent time. So the AI foundry, Intel has a major stake in it. Intel has a major stake in it. So for AMD, you see here, data center, client, gaming, GPUs, microprocessors. Now let's compare that with Intel. Now, if you want to learn, if you want to get more information, you might have to pay, make a subscription here. But I'm not paying right now. Yeah. So what Intel does is to ensure that the the needed component, right, in the AI stack is available. So Intel also provides chips, provides semiconductors to enhance intelligence in the AI race. So yeah, it's been sleeping for a long time, but once the president invested in the, the US government made some major investment move in Intel, the stock had been going up, has been going up since then. So it has a higher growth potential. Look at the performance overview. Yeah. So it's been outperforming S&P 500 year to date, 1 year, 3 year return, 5 year return. Is this built to outperform S&P 500? So that's why I don't. I'm big on ETFs, but you don't want to put all your money in ETFs so that you can get those exponential growths. So when you make those money on the individual stocks, you can move them, you can secure them in your ETFs, but don't put all your money in ETFs. Put a few percentage in those individual stocks that have upside potential, like Intel. So I want you to, uh, yeah, do your due diligence, research more on Intel. So right now it's selling for 109, just projected to hit $200 by the end of the year. So that is something you want to keep on your radar. That is something you want to keep on your radar. This is a good time to invest. This is a good time to invest in Intel. So right now, it reached $142 a couple of days back, but the projection is that it's actually going to go as high as $200 by the end of the year. So based on analyst reports, yeah, yeah. So look at revenue and earnings. So it's been negative 2025. Now earnings is 1.4 billion, $1.4 billion Q1 2026. End of 2025 was $776 million, 1.02 billion Q3. So the so that's like the quarterly revenue versus earnings projections. If we look at 2022, earnings was declining. So it's picking up, and it's like the about the only company that produce that component that is needed in the data centers, in the hyperscalers. So that is why I'm banking on this one. All right. So this is something you want to hold for a long time. You see how AMD ran. You see how Apple ran. You see how Google ran. Intel is just starting. So you don't want to chase. So just continue to put percentage of the funds into Intel as you proceed. So those are two major AI plays that you want to keep on your radar for the next 6 months. Now I'm going to add an extra, which is SoFi. SoFi is the future. If you're familiar with Robinhood, yeah. So SoFi is what the Gen Z is the future. SoFi has a lot of tools, a lot of features that will keep you engaged. Borrow student loan, can borrow personal loans. It has a lot of products on the platform. All right. So um, and they are integrating AI into their systems, into their capabilities. So this is something you want to, I mean, this is pretty much affordable at this stage because this is a stock that is going to hit hard in the future. And look at revenue. Look at the trajectory of revenue since 2022. Revenue has been going up. Earnings, yeah, earnings has been going on as well since 2023. So those are things, fundamentals you are looking at when you are shopping for the next stock, the next best thing. So for instance, in 2023, let's see if we can, okay, so that's, okay. So in 2023, yeah, earnings was negative, revenue was $2 billion. In 2024, earnings was 163 million and revenue was 2.6 billion. 2025, revenue 3.5 billion. Earnings went up from 163 million to 468 million. So it has a lot of upside growth potential. Let's look at some additional features here. Yeah, yeah. So these are just giving you some volume of trades every day in the last, at least in the last 6 months. So I'm not really good with those numbers, so I just look at some basic stuff there that catches my fancy, and those are what I was showing you: revenue, earnings, how they are fared in the last 3 years, in the last 4 years. Is there any growth potential in them? So those are some of the things you are looking at when you are looking for the next stock for your portfolio. So I'm going to read something here for SoFi. So SoFi introduced small business loans in late June, offering fixed loans up to $250,000 with quick approval and no fees. This product broadens SoFi's lending platform to serve entrepreneurs and small businesses, potentially increasing revenue streams and member engagement. The launch has been cited as a key factor. SoFi is gaining attention as a corporate backer of Trump accounts program. So that's another reason for the upside potential. Analysts maintain a hold consensus. Price target $19.50. Citi, Citibank, right? Initiated a buy rating, $30 price target. $30 price target. Goldman Sachs, price target, $21. They're expected to, by July 29, they're expected to release a earnings per share of 11 cents and $1.1 billion revenue. 1.1 $11 million revenue. So that's so far. Now let's look at Intel. So just reading it up from where I have it. So Intel, HSBC maintains a buy rating for Intel at $200. So they are considering Intel as an alternative to TSMC. You know, it's made in America, it's built in the US. So, and the government is big on made in America products. It's encouraging businesses, global organizations to come and invest in the US. So it gives them that leverage already. So while others are just trying to build up their infrastructure, their solutions, they are already on ground. So that's one thing that makes Intel to stand out. Wells Fargo expects Intel's Q2 earnings on July 23rd to show strong server CPU demand and growth. All right. So those are some catalysts for growth. So earnings is towards the end of the month. So you might see some movement in the price post earnings and after earnings. So it has a lot of upside potential. And finally, AMD. Yeah. So here, AMD, according to Stifel, we expecting 41% growth. That's the $635. All right. And they're expected to beat to the Q2 beat and raise driven by 70% year-over-year CPU server revenue growth. So that's AMD. So you see that all of these businesses have growth potentials and they are pivotal to the AI rally, to the AI rollout infrastructure. Products that AMD produce includes processors, accelerators, graphics, adaptive SoCs, softwares, tools, apps. So they offer artificial intelligence, industries, workloads, gaming solutions. Yeah. So it's a lot. So I'm actually using Robinhood to pull this information. So your favorite trading apps might also have those tools that you can use to get summary of what a company is doing, what their entails. And finally, one thing I'm going to emphasize that before you put your money in a stock, you must be able to explain what that company is doing to a 5-year-old, to a 10-year-old. That means you understand the fundamentals. So on the red days, you're not moved, you're not shaken because you have a conviction. You know, you have a why on your reasons for investing in that stock. So don't just follow the bandwagon. Don't follow the rave of the moment. Always have an understanding of what the stock is all about, what the company is all about, and their growth potential. All right. So this is it for tonight. See you on the next one. Enjoy the weekend. Take care, everyone. Bye.